it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited to do some December daily prep pages and share those with you. I am going to share the cover page. I kind of mentioned that in my last behind the scenes video, I think, about December daily and just talking through my ideas for December daily. But I'm going to show you how I put it together. Also show my table of contents, which I just scrap lifted from Ali Edwards. I thought it was an amazing idea. I'd like to try it, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I also put together the December routines page with the laminated sheet that I was also talking about in my last behind the scenes video. And finally, my reason why page, which is a very simple vellum page. So I think that's a total of like 4 different prep ideas to get me started for the start of my December daily album. I do have one other video of prep ideas that I'm going to have, including my bookshelf and how I'm going to document my books. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys enjoy this behind the scenes video of getting ready for December daily. Grab a project, grab a favorite drink, and let's get started. For my title page, I am going to go with this transparency with the houses on it and also the vellum light bulbs. And I thought it would be fun to do a string of light bulbs up at the top and then stitch them. I do not have a sewing machine, so I'm going to hand stitch them, and I did not include that on the process video because I am terrible at stitching and I almost gave up because I could not thread a needle, and then once I thread the needle, I was having a difficult time getting it through the really thick laminated portion. But I got it done and it looks really awesome. What I did to hold the lights temporarily is some temporary adhesive. And then that way, if I want to go back, I can go ahead and just lift up the light and remove the adhesive. Now I took a piece of cardboard and I think this is like my eyelet tool, but it's also a paper piercer. So I use that to poke 2 holes next or on top of the light bulb, and then I can string my thread through. Like I said, I had a really hard time threading the needle. I did not remember it being so difficult. I even wound up doing a YouTube search so I could, get an easy tip on it. I think I learned that there's a machine that can actually do it for you, like a little machine. I may be getting that machine at some point because I couldn't believe how hard it was. Anyways, this is how it turned out. It looks fantastic. I tied it on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And if you remember from my last behind the scenes video, I said that we tend to get a family picture on Thanksgiving. So what I'll do is I will use that picture and just turn it black and white. The last time I did this was in 2022, so it's a nice little change. And then I took a die cut that says 24 and put it right above the houses. So just pretty simple cover page, but I tried out some stitching. I even shined up the cover with my sleeve of my sweater, and now I have the title page done. So the next thing I'm going to do is this table of contents page. And like I said in the introduction, this is directly scrap lifted from Ali Edwards. I loved her idea. I went to start the page and realized that I was about ready to make my fold mark in the completely wrong place. I think I needed to even flip it upside down. No, I didn't have to flip it upside down, but the fold mark needed to be on the left-hand side at the 4-inch mark, I believe, because it's I don't know what size the paper is, but I knew where I needed to fold it. I measured it. I think it's a 12-inch long paper. I don't know. But I measured it, I folded it, and then I punched the holes, and the paper is just the one that says December really lightly, and then I'm going to use the 1 through 31. Now, Ali Edwards used the left-hand side to do her reason why, but since I go to the 31st, I obviously can't do that. I like to go to the 31st, that way if I never get to Project Life in December, that's okay, because the entire month is already covered. And I now, pay for 2 albums, so I might as well go to the 31st. To me, it just makes sense because that last week, I felt like it just kept falling into a void and being forgotten, so that's another reason. What Allie Edwards did is she took groups of 5 and used Scotch tape to adhere them together. So that's what I'm doing. I cut out a lot of that process because I don't think you guys need to see it, especially if you've seen Allie's idea. But I wind up with, I think, 6 groups of 5, and then I'll just cut them apart as I need to when I am spacing out how the order of my table of contents is going to be, because I think I can fit 3 on the folded part. So I will have to cut apart at some point. And did you guys also see that Lisa, Freckle Pickle, she took these and put QR codes for videos, which I think is just brilliant. And I might find a way to do something similar to that, especially with having older kids. I feel like a lot of the activities have changed for good and bad or indifferent, but it's a good reminder having older kids to get the little magic moments on video, even if it's totally sarcastic and inappropriate humor. It will be totally fun to get some videos of them in this season of life. So you can see I'm almost done putting all of the different tabs on there, and then I can go ahead and take them and just adhere them down. The Scotch tape was a lifesaver because I did not have to do like one at a time, at least for the most part. Some of them, when I separated them, they did wind up one piece, but it worked out to have that Scotch tape. Definitely easy. Had to add some new adhesive to my tape runner and just keep on going. And what I'll do for these, because historically, being honest, I'm not that great at table of contents. Like, I did a similar one for October Daily with a calendar, and I did not fill out most of it. I'm determined to do it for this one, even if it's just like a sticker or something. I think I might pull this page out and put it next to my journal, and then that way I can fill it out as I do my journal, my daily journal, and my Hobonichi. So on this flat portion, I think Allie Edwards did some stitching or something. I know that I'm going to use the bow that she used because I liked that bow better. And she stitched it onto the side. I can't do that, so I'll just use some double-sided tape to do that trick. And I also use the bow pattern on top of that white paper, just so that way I have a little extra of the color throughout the kit, because there's a lot of really pretty bright colors in the kit. So I trimmed off that page, and now I want to figure out a way to stamp out table of contents. I think someone in the community, I want to say it was Jill, stamped on the washi tape. So I am going to try that, and I left it in my editing because I wanted you guys to see how it turned out for me. I just jumped right into it, so I may have missed a step. I don't know, but it didn't work out for me. You can see here I added a ton of double-sided tape, hoping that this will stay. I could have also maybe used a mini stapler, but I didn't want to do that because then it would poke through the other side. Okay, so the washi tape. I stuck it to wax paper so that way it could stick down, but not stick down completely, if that makes sense. Then I got out my StazOn ink and the new Alpha stamp set, went ahead and stamped it down. And then I stamped it on the washi, and I did not like it. It was not vibrant at all. So I was just like, I am going to scratch that. Let's figure something else out. I remembered the label paper and decided, you know what, that'd be really fun to put on the side, like the left-hand side, and also using different colors will coordinate well with that multicolored bow pattern. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp out table of con, split the word con, and then tents, because that's just, I don't want to do a full label. I don't remember why I didn't want to do a full label. I don't remember why, but I just wanted to have 4 total labels, and then I will have a complete table of contents. And I know everybody loves this Alpha stamp set, and I do as well. It is so versatile. I've already used it in my Hobonichi, I think a few times, so I love it. The other trick I had to do was to stamp backwards with my words, because I knew the way that I was going to place the labels down, I was going to cut it off on the left-hand side. So I just figured that way I knew where to cut. It would be easier if I just did it backwards, if that makes sense. So once I stamped table, I cut off table where it's at and just made sure to, stamp backwards. basically that's what it is. Stamp backwards, and it worked. And then for the word contents, I just used the asterisk in the alpha stamp set, so that way I could split the word by the syllables. Learning about syllables and phonics in my second grade classroom has been quite eye-opening. They teach reading so differently now. It's amazing. It's like these kids are becoming English professors or professors of the English language. But anyways, back to my project. So I trim off the extra for these labels and then go ahead and add them on to this side piece, and I absolutely love it. I think it turned out amazing. So I have 2 labels up top, then my bow in the middle, and then the rest of my labels. And now I have a beautiful page for the table of contents. So whatever story I decide on for the day, I can go ahead and jot down a little note. So I have the cover page and then now my table of contents. And I think the next thing that I'm going to show in this video is the December routines page. I kind of mentioned that in my behind the scenes video, I think last week. So I'm going to do that idea. My original idea was to just do the labels in kind of not like a haphazard way, like spread out all throughout the page. But then last week when I was talking to you guys about various ideas and I saw my 2022 cover page, it was strips of paper in a tree shape. So I was like, ooh, I like that. So that's what I decided to go for the labels. And December routines is going to go in the middle. So my thinking is that I could either have some photos on the left-hand side, like on a page, white cardstock or a page protector, whichever, but I could have photos on the left-hand side or the right-hand side or a double page spread, whichever. And then I could just talk about the various routines or something like that. It's a prep page, it's beautiful, and I am excited to put it together. Like you've seen before, sometimes I don't always use my prep pages, but I'm really hoping to use them and be intentional in using them. So I have them in my album, they're ready to go, and I'm also going to probably write down Post-it notes so that way I can remember, what kind of pages I have, what kind of stories I'm thinking about, and hopefully that'll help. I'll probably keep it by my journal as well, just like the table of contents. That way I can kind of maybe keep a list of like routines and then do, a cumulative type of layout towards the end of December. That would be really fun. So I am just cutting out my labels and building my tree. I did green at the top and 1 label, then 2, and then the December routines, and then I made it really wide, made the tree really wide at the below the December routines with 3, and then I did 1, and then I turned 1, the last little label, I turned it vertical, so that way it could be like the tree stump. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that label because it is turned. I don't know if I would do writing there. I might just do a stamped phrase, but I wasn't sure at the time, so I might just leave it for now. But a thought I have is if I don't fill up every single label, or I don't think I have enough thoughts and journaling for every single label, I can definitely do some stamping. I wanted to emphasize that this was definitely a tree shape, so I opened my star box and I went ahead and added a star to the top, and I think it looks like a tree. I think it really passes as a tree, and it looks fantastic. I love it. I added some more glue to the tree because I felt like it wasn't staying as well as it could. On the back, I am going to do the same design, but obviously not use the same die cut December routines because I don't have a second one. And so I'm going to figure out something to put on the back of it. I start off with a red label and then a yellow label, and I think I will finish using this paper. By the time I get done with this page, I think the label page is done. Like I've cut it all up. So if I need another one, I can just go ahead and print another one. But it is exciting to have a prompt page used up because I think this is what it was from. This particular page was from a prompt page. And you know how Ali Edwards does a lot of prompt pages? Well, those are the hardest ones for me to use. I don't know why, but I tend to not use those. So I'd like to get better at using them. So my thinking to fill in the die cut spot is use this red tag, a long skinny tag that says this gives me all the feels, and then use the washi tape, since the washi tape has all the colors in the kit and obviously the die cut. So I decided to do one layer of washi tape, then looked at it and said, you know what, I need a second layer. So I added a second layer of washi tape, then put the red banner over the top. And I think that looks really good. Once I was thinking about it, I could have taken the December routines, taken it off, and maybe built my washi tape to fit the size of the December routines exactly, but that would have been more work. But that was just my thinking as I was putting the washi tape on. I could have totally made the same shape and a backing for December routines. But anyways, I am going to lift this up in a second because if you remember from my last behind the scenes video, this laminated pocket wound up with some really weird bubbles in it. I've never had that happen with my machine, but it happened, and I don't think you can see the bubbles. So it turned out great, and I was able to salvage this piece of laminate because I love having my laminator. It is so fun to have, and it makes for, such a cool way to incorporate laminate in your projects. Like you can do see-through things, all kinds of things. Like last year I documented movies, and I did a giant TV. I think it was a giant TV. Yeah, a giant TV with a photo of my husband and I on a laminate pocket, and it turned out so cool. And then on the back of that photo, I put a movie picture of our favorite movie. So it was really cool to have that laminate pocket. I love them. Okay, so I was able to use a part of the dark green label and then cut it off for my tree trunk. And now I have a beautiful little tree to talk about December routines. And I think, like I said, having it by my journal is going to be a really smart idea and a way to be successful in documenting some routines. One last page, which is super, super simple. I printed out my reason why on vellum, and then realized that I didn't center it in the middle of the page. So I got a second sheet of vellum, cut that out to 7 by 8.25, and I am just going to take my cutout piece and put it on top of that second piece of vellum. Once I printed it out, I thought about, I could have the reason why up in the top right corner, but I didn't like that. I wanted it centered. I'm also going to frame it in with one of these gold scallop frames from the main kit, I believe, and I think it just is so pretty. And of course, behind that is a box of my birds. I absolutely love my box of birds and target birds. I have so many of them. I love them. They bring me so much joy. For my actual reason why, I just discussed how this time of year is the best and also the busiest, but I look forward to December arriving and all the magic that it brings, the joy, the mundane, and all the in-between, and I savor each month by documenting the stories. And I also mentioned how I feel like with these December days, this story and documenting these stories allows me the time to pause and savor each story. And I also said that with my kids being older, it's interesting to see how the seasons change and how they're becoming their own person. But some traditions are never gonna, change, like being together. So the joy can always be found, and it's a wonderful experience to see the changes in the seasons of life. So that's kind of what I wrote, and then I realized as I was putting it in there that I might need some more double-sided adhesive tape, so that's what I'm gonna do. What I did is I took the separate vellum sheet, adhered it to the frame, but then didn't take the frame and adhere the frame to the second piece of vellum, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to add some more double-sided adhesive, and then I can go ahead and show you guys what I have. And I am so excited for this project. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing all of these pages come together. Here is the cover. I'll include the family photo, table of contents, this little die cut piece, my reason why, and then my decor box. So I am just loving the start that I have. Okay, so that is where I'm starting for my December daily, the beginning of my album at least. Like I said, I will probably have one more video with prep ideas, maybe later this week. I'm trying to get out more videos since I am on Thanksgiving break, so we shall see, but I definitely have one more video to share for prep pages. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd love a subscribe or a like if you enjoy the videos. Have a great day. Bye.